Hey guys, Dr. Scope from 667, bringing you a game of Domination on lockdown. With me in the game is bloody everyone. Look, you can see them, heaps of them. And yeah, we're playing a game of Domination on lockdown, which is a bit of a prick of a map to be playing a game of Domination on, especially if you spawn out of the side that we spawned off. Basically, to get across to the B flag, you have to cover more of an open area. Then the people on the other team, they can pretty much walk out of their spawn onto the first flag, straight up into the buildings, and proceed to rape you hard from behind, the front, in the mouth, and so forth. It's horrible. I mean, you know, depending on your perspective and, you know, persuasion. I personally don't like it. Punch is cacking himself. Well done, Punch. Punch is here. You're not going to hear him. He's smirking. He's trying not to he's trying not to lose his shit from laughing. Anyway, back to the topic. Alright, actually fuck the topic. Lag. The topic is lag. We just played a few games. I just played like 10 games in a row. I'm happy to concede that maybe the first couple I wasn't playing terribly well. Right? You know, I have to warm up. I'm a bit of an old prick now. It takes a while to, like, you know, get my brain working and for it to figure out what it's doing. Get out of work mode and into ponage mode. But seriously, I can shoot straight and I deserve some form of hit detection when I'm shooting straight at someone who's not moving. If they're moving, as I just get bitched again, these guys are just fucking... We're going to go talk about the game again for a second. A little bit random, but I'm a little bit worked up, right? I don't like playing lag, and I'm sure you don't either. And if you live in Western Australia, or some sort of isolated part of the world, yeah, Peru. Hello to the dude from Peru. If you're listening to this, buddy, fuck, we hear you, man. Alright, we're still trying to cap B. Fucking just gallantly diving on the flag. Fucking just to the detriment of our kill-death ratios, as I just get nailed again from someone who just spawned 3 feet away from me. Yeah, connections. Now, Infinity Ward. I would like to sit down with someone from Infinity Ward and just explain to them how I feel about the job they've done up to this point, with the billions of dollars that they have access to. What I would do is I would urinate on them. I would remove my urination tool from my pants, and I would proceed to spray piss all over anyone from fucking Activision, Infinity Ward, Sledgehammer, anyone who's unfortunate enough to walk in at the wrong time, alright? We'd just cop a shitload of piss all over them. I'm not terribly happy. You know, you don't need to make a game that has all the bells and whistles and flashing lights and fucking controllable fucking cars and turrets and all the other shit if you can't just play the game. Now, I think they've done a pretty good job in a lot of areas. They have tried to address the fact, just getting nailed still. Everyone does really good in this game too, by the way. We're playing on 3-bar, but this was like a playable connection game. It was like reasonable. I mean, it was fucking laggy, but, you know, didn't make some of the best decisions. I'll start playing a little bit better shortly, hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out. No, I do, trust me. But, okay. Back to the game for a moment. We're going to try and cap C. Right, we're having a prick of a time getting A, so we're going to go around and cap C. Absolute basic. See, look, how fucking hard was it to kill that guy? Anyway, all Infinity Ward or Sledgehammer, Activision, right, the pricks who made the game, I don't give a fuck who it was. All they needed to do was make the game playable. Like, you actually need to be able to play it. Now, if I had any other complaints, it'd be the fact they reckon the game is so objective-based, alright? But at the end of this game, you won't be able to tell who's capped the flag or not. You can't tell. The enemy team, no one on their team could have capped the flag. I mean, obviously they did. They did a pretty good effort. They were certainly trying. But there's no caps or defends or anything else. If the game's been made so incredibly, oh, I'm going to get around on their flank. You can see I'm angry now. I'm a little bit irritated, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm going to shoot you in the head. See? Hit detection. Now, I didn't have this sort of hit detection. Not that this was a terribly awesome connection game, but playable, you know. Different sides of Australia. You are going to lag a little bit. At least I can kill someone. You know, I'm getting some form of hit detection. The game that I played this afternoon, the dozen games that I play in a row, on a variety of hosts, it was doing that teleportation thing. Sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place, but I'm a little bit agitated, right, by the urge to just kill Australia's internet that isn't even a person that I can't kill. Right? Very annoyed. Yeah, so back to the game, alright, we got B. No, we didn't, we fucking lost B again. Alright, but we've got C. We have C, which is something. Everyone's trying really hard. You can pretty much... Now, the problem with having a predominantly West Australian clan, is if we have 4 or 5 West Australian players in a game that's hosted in far north Queensland, or Sydney, or anything else, we're already at a distinct advantage. Now, White Boy released a video, you all know who White Boy 7th Street is, and he basically said, he gave everyone a great tip. He's like, don't play a game if it has over 75 milliseconds of ping. Right, which is awesome advice. If I took that advice, I would have played 3 games online so far, all of them being free-for-alls. Because not one single game of Domination that I've played has had anything under about 150 milliseconds of ping. So, good advice, White Boy, but you don't live in Western Australia. Well, I'm in Australia. I don't know what it's like on the other side. Maybe it's as bad if you live in, you know, parts of Queensland and Tasmania, South Australia. If you live in inner city or, you know, Sydney or Melbourne and you're always playing a 4-bar, I don't want to sound rude, but you really have no idea what I'm talking about unless you've, you know, travelled to a remote part of the country where everyone has a bad connection and you've played on that connection. Right, you should be thankful. You should be very thankful. What? Yeah. And we often play with 2 PlayStations on the 1 broadband connection. Right, which is our problem. We choose to do it. But for example, I mean, we were doing it this game, weren't we? Were you in this game, Punch?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Anyway, he might have been. We'll see at the end. Alright. Quad. Yeah, take that, you fucks. Yeah, so I'm a little bit disappointed with Activision, alright? Not because they haven't tried to make a decent game, but because they've lost sight of the bigger objective. The objective is to make a first-person shooter that everyone can play, right? Now, having all the bells and whistles is obviously awesome, but if you've only got 25% of the gaming population that play on a consistent 4-bar connection, right? As I'm just irritated and just making sure we win this game. Now, the reason we try and win all these games is if you have very little hit detection, or if it takes you the entire clip to kill the first guy, right? You can't get the second guy because you've used your entire clip of ammunition to kill the first guy. You've been out of cover for too long because it's taken you an excessive amount of bullets to kill someone. You're just on the back foot the whole time. Right, so I'm camping it up at A, trying to stop them from coming around. We did have B until I spoke just then. Yeah. Anyway, back to Infinity Ward. All they needed to do was make a decent game. And they haven't. Now, will they fix it? Now, if you run into your team, it makes you lag. There's all this weird, funny teleporting stuff where you literally freeze for 2 seconds and then unfreeze. And it would always happen to be that, you know, 3/4 of the time there's an enemy just coming around the corner. I don't know if that's why I have frozen, because the host has walked past and it just completely incapacitates me. Which is obviously fair enough, you know, like, the host deserves to be invincible and kill everyone with 3 bullets, and I should be lagging like shit the whole time. It's obviously how it should work. But it is only a game. We do play it for fun, right? We're trying to claw this game back. We're giving it a red hot go, and we're just trying to have some fun. I suppose you know, the importance of it is, if we really didn't like it, we could go and do something constructive with our time, you know, feed the homeless, or, I don't know, something incredibly awesome like that, instead of just complaining about lag in a first-person shooter that I play hours of every week. But I'm very passionate about my gaming, right? I like playing COD, I like to pwn people, and it's nice when it's a good fair gunfight against another good team. It's quite often very unfair, stacked one way or the other. Now, I'm sure that when we host games, right, if it's sort of late at night and the internet's fairly quiet, you know, like the link between Australia, well, Western Australia and the other side of the country, right, the bit of fencing wire that carries the data signal across the country. We're going to try and get into C and get stomped out again. I completely lost what I was saying as well. What the fuck was I talking about, Punch? Any idea? Alright, leave a comment. What was I talking about before I lost track? Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh no, I was saying that occasionally, when we host, I'm sure it's quite bad if you live in Sydney, right, and you're playing on a Perth connection, right? I'm sure that's fucking almost, just dicks in the mouth. Yeah, it's, you know, you don't want dicks in your mouth, but you find yourself with several dicks in your mouth, right, against your own will, which is not a nice, I imagine, it's not a nice position to find yourself in. I hope I never find out. But I feel that playing a laggy game, right, against reasonable players is very similar to the aforesaid act. Yeah. Alright, so the game's getting very close. It's sort of getting down to the wire. We're playing some capable players that are taking good defensive positions, right, even though a good defensive position to them was handed to them on a silver platter at the start of the game. Oh, Hingo's phrase of the week. As the game starts to wrap up, we are now releasing... See, when we have like annoying laggy games like this, everyone tends to rage, as much as we probably shouldn't. Hingo's phrase of the week. Punch, would you like to come out with Hingo's phrase of the week? What is it this week?
I'm going to give you the pleasure.
Well, I can't remember what it is, so it's going to make it hard.
Go suck your own cock off.
Yeah, go suck your own cock off, cunt. Now, apologies for the swearing, but yeah, that's what it is. If you really want to abuse the crap out of someone, go suck your own cock off. Hingo's abusive phrase of the week. Brought to you by Lag. Alright, so the game's starting to wrap up. We've managed to get a round B through just sheer determination. We have beaten these guys. Bloody well done to everyone involved. Sorry if I swore a little bit during this commentary and was a bit vague, but I'm a little bit agitated by the lag I just played. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment. What's your connection like? Who's your ISP? And yeah, thank you very much once again, and we'll speak to you next time. Cheers.